Today's sprint marks the first time that we've had a race calling itself a women's Tour de France effectively since the late 1980s. The race was held on the Champs Élysées. Predictably, we saw the likes of Lorena Wiebes, Marianne Vos and Elisa Balsamo taking on the sprint. I've decided to have a little look at how the sprint played out and see just how Lorena Wiebes became the winner of today's stage. Starting from 2.2k to go, Movistar leading the pack with 3 of their riders. Jumbo-Visma are not far behind with 4 of their riders. Behind them, Team DSM are there with 2 riders, and then we've also got Live Racing Extra with a pair of riders next to them. Going into the tunnel, Movistar still have their 3, with Jumbo-Visma with their 4. Valcar are starting to come up from the outside with 3, and DSM are just playing it cool, sitting in the bunch. We don't see much coming out the tunnel, but on the way out by the Joan of Arc statue, we see the white jersey of Kathrin Schweinberger come round. Plantipura start to be sitting on the front at this point, but it's Ellen Van Dijk who takes over for Trek. She's slightly distanced from Elisa Balsamo, and we see the discipline lines of Movistar and Jumbo-Visma still in place. Valcar is still desperately trying to catch up. Behind them, Plantipura have gone backwards fast. There's now 4 of them, not in a line, just kind of scattered in the road and lacking a bit of direction at this point. In the middle, in this phase, we see Balsamo and Anna Henderson. They have a bit of shoulder barging as they try and get onto the back of Marianne Vos's wheel. It's Anna Henderson who has the last laugh though through the Place de la Concorde. She moves up through the inside and Marianne Vos lets her slot in front of her ready for the lead out. Team DSM moving up the barriers on the left hand side. Elisa Balsamo watches Lorena Wiebes kind of come past, but it's Barbieri who jumps onto Wiebes' wheel. Valcar are a long way back again, but the next time we see them, they're on the edge of the front and come round into the middle, ideally into quite a good spot. Emma Norsgaard launches her sprint with 300 metres to go. We sort of cut to Anna Henderson, and it's unexplained how Marianne Vos ends up on her own at the front of the pack on the other side, but Elisa Balsamo is blocked in by Barbieri and Norsgaard. It's Marianne Vos who launches the sprint, and she is ahead of Wiebes, looking at the line across the zebra crossing. But the longer the sprint goes on, Lorena Wiebes comes back strong, and it's Marianne Vos who ends up being overtaken. By the time he gets to the finish line, Lorena Wiebes is comfortably ahead by a solid bike length and change. The long sprint is a technique we saw from Marianne Vos at the Giro d'Onne, so it's no surprise that she tries another long sprint here against Lorena Wiebes, even if ultimately it wasn't successful. The overhead shot clears up a little bit of how Marianne Vos went. Peloton just opened up a bit for her, and Elisa Balsamo was prevented from joining her despite being on a wheel by a little rightward shove by Barbieri. That prevents Balsamo from joining Vos at the front and ultimately costs her a strong position. Balsamo ends up finishing 7th. From the overhead, it's pretty clear that Lorena Wiebes, in clear sight of the line, had the absolute power to come round Marianne Vos. Lorena Wiebes takes the opening maillot jaune